Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 25 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. Ladies and gentlemen, I will start this by apologizing for how sporadic and how weird the uploads have been the last week. I had my cousin over, and he stayed the entire week. Normally he only stays for a weekend, so yeah, that was a bit weird. I felt like it was a bit rude to just sit and record when I was... Oh, well, I mean, technically I was hosting, but he's my cousin, so it's fine. But basically, I felt like it was a bit fucking rude, you know, just
I'll take a look.
Record and shit in front of my cousin. So anyway, so let's go talk to Alexicum McCree, and we'll get the talking shit out of the way. And once we've got out of the way, we can continue with the part. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this part will probably be 25 minutes. It will definitely be 25 minutes. It might be half an hour, depending. But I am recording this again. I'm still late. It's another whole other discussion why everything else is late, but don't worry, you will get your content every day again. It's just, there is going to be a new Let's Play added in because I felt bad about missing so many, but there'll be a new U4 Let's Play. I've already got it planned, I just need to get the recording done, so that'll probably be either tomorrow or today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, because I am at work in, less than 8 hours, so that's good. Anyway, you see a man praying soundlessly on the ground. Praying soundlessly on the ground, lips moving to some ancient and unknowable hymn. Lying in his hands, his sword sputters into blinding white light, banishing the darkness around him instantly to lurk in corners and shelves. He opens his eyes slowly, continuing his silent prayer as he adjusts to the new light. His face tight with concentration, he stands and begins to move deliberately towards an enormous iron door. Strange symbols inscribed upon its rusted surface. His prayer gets louder, gains substance as he gets closer. Blue eyes burn with fervor as the glowing tip of his sword touches the center of the door and slices through. White light spreads across its surface, symbols flaring into life as the paladin chants. A gentle tone sounds ringing through the ancient structure, and the door begins to open. The symbols have disappeared, along with the rust, and the paladin steps through into places unknown, bearing the light that he is only now beginning to understand. I think there's this guy as well, yep. You see a firm hand scribing notes from an ancient, surprisingly sturdy looking tome. Script precise, pictures all small but clear. The monk runs his fingers across the paper lightly, page after page, searching for something. The script is ancient, almost illegible, but he perseveres, scrolling back stacks and sheaves of notes, transcribing the book onto something more comprehensible. Suddenly he starts scribbling hastily, eyes wild, pen a blur across the newly ink-splattered page. With a start, he pushes out from his desk and closes the tome, sending waves of dust to coat about the room, and grins widely. He hurries to the exit, notes piled under his arm, and a new adventure on his mind. Yeah, we've already read that. We've already read that, guys. So, this room is, everything from here is steel, so let's just move on. Now, I don't remember exactly how many people we've spoken to, so I will obviously just try and probably speak to them again just to... Wait, did I actually... I looks like I stole from there, then. Let's go for this guy. You see a group of people standing on a clear patch of earth, surrounded by several motionless bodies. On the ground in the middle of the group is a small figure, curled up to protect itself from the kicking feet of the people standing around it. This woman is there, apart from the group, holding an enormous sword. She leans on it, using it almost like a crutch, hunched over and breathing heavily. She stares at the people and grunts, pulling herself upright and lifting the sword from the ground. She draws it in a large breath and leans into a run and quickly closes the distance between herself and the group. A blood-chilling howl suddenly explodes from her. The mob freezes mid-kick and stares at the terrifying bull of a woman now charging. She jumps at the last second, bending slightly, turning herself into a projectile flying into the middle of us people, assaulting the figure on the ground. Everyone topples as she flies into them. She hits the ground beyond them, rolling, leaping back up and turns to face them. She plants both her feet and lifts the sword, surveying the field. Suddenly, she spins on her heel, swinging with her sword with a savage grace, cutting down the nearest of the assailants. Letting herself get pulled into the momentum of the spin, she brings her sword around, blade sideways, into the head of a would-be opponent. The bottom of the hilt shatters his temple, and he crumples onto the ground at her feet. She looks up, rage-filled eyes, daring the remaining two men to approach. After a quick sideways glance at each other, they run, turn heel and run. One briefly looks back over his shoulder, ensuring she isn't following them. She slowly lets out a breath she had been holding and walks over to help the figure still herded on the ground. You see a man standing on a dock. Sailors, soldiers, and prostitutes swarm around him, but he's watching the ship disappearing over the horizon. There was prostitutes. He should be glad his men didn't take his life along with his ship, but failure is almost as bad as a death for a Valanian. And the gods only know he hadn't feared any bet on his family's mercantile business. It's almost a relief to see that the last herald of his failure sail into the distance, sparing him the need to go back to his father and admit defeat once again. Besides, with sharp wits and an eye for opportunity, there's always a chance for a comeback. He pulls a flask from his hip and takes a long drink. There will be time for that later. He adjusts the flap on his eye patch and finds the tower of the brothel. He plots a new course for the evening, a grin on his face. Fucking whorings. Never the right way to go. And yet these people don't talk to. So yeah, we've done all the talking so far, so we can get on to the... Well, like I said, we're going to do the archive quest first, because that's, in my opinion, side quests come first. Always. Unless, you know, your side quest is just to return an item that you've already been, like, multiple times in, like, quick succession. I should have talked to the bar owner, but I didn't. Oh, well. We're already out, so let's go see what we can talk to outside. So there's going to be a lot of dialogue for the next couple of parts, because there's just so many people to talk to. So many people to learn something from. Even if it's not learning, it's just a little bit of the world's lore. Or at least lore about little characters. So, in my opinion, it's all interesting. So I like to just learn and find out. Like, I've been down there, so let's... oh, this is a fucking... This is a fucking big one. Jesus Christ. Let's go over to here first. Oh, wait, no. Let's have a look. You see a man crosses his arms and sticks his chin out. Moonlight and torchlight cover his face. Bullshit. The elf standing in front of him wears a panicked expression. Are you mad? I've seen it. Aha, the first man cries, raising a triumphant finger. You just said you'd only heard it. The elf blinks. What in the name of Galwain's beast does that have to do with anything? You said you'd only heard it. Now you're telling me it's a monster the size of two Amurin with blood-dyed fur. The man takes a step closer to the elf. And now I'm saying you're a liar, Doran. Doran sputters. Gods, Viserys, who cares what it looks like? It's a rabid wolf. You saw what it did to the sheep. The elf froze up, both out of his hands, shaking his head. You want to stay out here and all night to see if you thing yourself? Have it your way. I'm getting out of here. Fine. Alright. Good. The elf storms off, casting one last glance over his shoulder as he disappears down a hill. The man sets off in the other direction, a sword in one hand and a torch in the other. Within minutes, he comes to a broken padlock where a dozen sheep lie dead, their throats torn and their innards scattered across the ground. It is not the work of a normal predator. Something crunches through the dry grass. Viserys spins but sees nothing. He raises his torch higher. This time, a rustling sound from behind him near the paddock. He turns again to see a wolf. It's not nearly as large as Dorian had sworn, and while its fur is matted with red around its throat and paws, the rest of the elf's description has proven to be rather lurid exaggeration, typical. Viserys takes some small satisfaction in this, even while the wolf lunges for him, its jaws foaming and eyes rolling. Interesting. Let's go see what's over here. Kadal. You've got a name. The statuesque woman has a gaze that could cut stone. She turns her chiseled cheekbones to the sky and favors you with a look of acknowledgement, her eyes shimmering under silvered eyeshadow and a razor-precise line of kohl. Before you can speak, she throws her hands up in dramatic fashion. Autographs after the performance, please. Great art requires great concentration, and greatness is expected from the Revel of Stars. What is the Revel of Stars? We're the finest theatre trope in the city. We believe that the best art is immersive and true to life. She looks at the amphitheatre with a rapturous expression. We stage our performance right here in the CopperLane for the edification of all. I suppose I can spare a moment for a fan. What do you do? That depends entirely on the demands of the role. She lays a slender hand on her chest. I am the pallid knight, the widow of the wood, and the warrior queen Mokgar, at all at different times, to live a different life each day is a glorious thing indeed, my friend. Has Reveler Stars taken any new members? But of course, good drama is a balm to the soul, and we wish to offer a true theatrical experience to as many as possible. What kind of members do you take? We'll take in the new and old, the tall and the small, the experienced and inexperienced, whoever is best suited to fill a role to the utmost. How long do you keep members? As long as they're able to satisfy the demands of their roles. She smooths a wayward strand of hair. True acting can be a grueling process, so some last longer than others. I'd like to ask something else. Better known as fuck off. Apparently someone's life is at its end. I'm interfering. Okay, apparently I can't interfere as much as I wanted. And there's no one up here. Well, we're just going to have to, you know, leave then. We'll let them get their business sorted. That's just a commoner. That's a Justica. You were so lovely back then. This elderly man prances back and forth, paces back and forth, taking short, hobbled steps. His gaze is distant, and beneath it are the dark rings of many restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. And the way you fought, cutting down two at a time, we shared quite a victory, you and I. Who are you talking to? The man looks up at you, startled. Oh, by the flame. For just a moment, I thought I heard her. He puts a hand on his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth in the North Watch Rangers. Trials and adventures from a lifetime ago. He shakes his head. Of late, the memories of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially vivid. Tell me about these memories. It's been nearly 60 years. We were known for the Deerwood then. We thought we'd adventure together forever, collecting coppers and inspiring songs. The wrinkles around his eyes deepen. That was until we faced the Helig of Fien. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a trail of bodies, some reanimated, from Solace Vale to Midwood. We tracked him as he fled towards the Villalian Republics, catching him just west of the Lake of Drowned Tombs. We were fools, seasoned as we were not prepared for his foul magic. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat, not me. By some curse of the gods, I was knocked out, and when I awoke, my rangers, my Rona, they were all dead. He holds empty air in his arms. Who is Rona? My friend, my comrade in arms, and my love. We'd planned to adventure together until we grew old enough to settle down and enjoy our fortunes. Young as we were, we couldn't imagine anything would tear us apart. I know this sounds like an old man's madness, but I hear her. Her voice just over my shoulder, calling to me in my dreams. At night, I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city, trying to escape. Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there, waiting for me. I've even ventured below, though it's damn near cost my life. He hesitates. Were I half the warrior I was in my youth, I'd search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm stuck with this feeble body and the agonizing notion that my love is somewhere down there, beyond my help. I'll search the catacombs for a sign of Rona. Tears spring to the old man's eyes. There's an entrance just south of here, on the other side of the canal. He sniffs and wipes his eyes. You are truly a gift from the gods. If there's anything you can find of her. Well, that's a new side quest. I like side quests. Side quests give me reason to learn. Let's go over here. I think this. I don't know where he was actually mentioning. Oh, literally right where I was going. So you know, well, fuck. As soon as this is not actually too far out of where I was going, we'll talk to this person, find out her backstory, and then we'll go. You see an older dwarf counting coins behind a grimy shop window. Hair limp with grease and sweat, a sneer playing around the edges of his pinched mouth. The bargains of the day lie scattered across the table, from tarnished, tawdry jewellery to an acid-encrusted dagger lying precariously near the edge. His half nose twitches in anticipation as the customer enters. A disheveled young noble who wants a white doublet stained with a life gone wrong. Eyes dart behind him, searching for pursuit, before he dumps the contents of his Hessen bag on the table. The dwarf leans forward, fingers flicking through the silverware and assorted goblets. He shakes his head emphatically, sneer fully settled, shoving the items back at the man. The man pleads, begs, eyes rolling with panic in their sockets, asking for something, anything, a few silvers. The dwarf leers and tosses 3 copper pans on the table. Desperate, the young noble tears a signet ring from his finger, to the dwarf's ill-concealed delight. A few more coins go into the pile, and the defeated man, swearing stitches under his breath, exits the shop. The venerable dwarf grins at his good fortune, picking food out from his two sharp teeth as he examines his haul. Bit of a dick. Wouldn't have it any other way, but a bit of a dick. So, I got a level up for coming downstairs. That's amazing. Stealth, and that'll do. Hey, new magic. So we got level 3 power. So we got Exo Psychic Echo. Generates a rebounding wave of psychic feedback between the cipher and an ally that causes crush damage to enemies caught in between. Fractured oh, I get 2 of them. Fractured Volatation. Volatiles violate an enemy's memories to bring vivid recollections of past failures to the surface, leaving the target hobbled and weakened. Pain Link, a mental links nearby enemies to the target, forcing them to experience a portion of all damage the target suffers. Puppet Master destroys a target's physical defense, psychic defense, leaving them dominated by the cipher for the duration. Secret Horrors causes enemies in the area of effect to believe their worst fears have been realized, frightening and sickening them for the duration. Soul Ignition forces an enemy's soul to leak energy, igniting the air around them and burning them over time. Well, I want Pain Link, and I think I'm going to go for Soul Ignition. I like those 2 the most, so let's deal with that.
Yeah.
I can't use them straight away because I don't have 30 focus to begin with. As you approach the dead man, you feel the faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When you near, without warning, the soul hurries towards you, as though you were a solitary light in the dark gloom of this place, come to usher it away. Its essence invades your consciousness. You are in a different body now, walking deeper into the catacombs, cloaked in a dark robe with a mask pulled over your face. You're following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around a statue of a figure wearing a robe much like yours. Others await, clothed in hoods and shadows. Ahead is another figure dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but find yourself face to face with a troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by the razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies on the damp and grimy ground, his hood and mask missing and his clothes are shredded. Sanguni draws up next to you. You alright? Looked like you almost lost your footing for a minute. It happens from time to time. She watches you quietly. You really are a watcher, aren't you? Once in a great many generations, one of my people is born with the ability to speak to the souls. Usually, such individuals become elders, or a lone set of tracks in the snow. She cocks her head. I would have thought my journey would be easier if I could see what you see, but looking at you, I'm not sure. Neither am I. Believe it or not, I would once have rejoiced to know I'd picked to travel far in search of something great. But even these gifts come at a cost, don't they? Forgive me if I was a little skeptical of your abilities before. I can't say I've met a real watcher before. Don't worry about him. He just likes doing that from time to time. He seems to cheer him up, so I just let him. Once you've seen it a few times, the shock wears off. Every time it goes a little strange in the face, I try and see if I can hear anything. Kinda grins. It hasn't worked so far. See if you can get him to tell you what the spirit said. And now it's time to be super sneaky. Black ooze.
Let's go.
Come on, lads. Let's just, everyone fuck it up.
Let's go.
I want a pain link. That was not the right person to pain link. Needless to say, that was a useless pain link, but I think I like the idea. Oh wait, sneaky
I'm on
mode.
the trail.
If there's anything we can, we need to sneak. That's a cat. Wait, actually, that's a good point.
Watcher.
What are your abilities? You have no mechanics.
Huh?
All I can say to that is, fuck. Well, that's 300 gold. I mean, we got that going for us, and there's the other one.
Huh? Right.
Alright, let's get back out here, guys. Come on, let's have ourselves positioned like... Oh, fuck, I hate something. Oh, come on. There we go. It's basic. That's the best we're going to fucking get. Come on.
Let's go.
If we engage this cunt, we don't have to engage the other ones. Now, if I figure out who he's attacking, I can pain these bastards. Oh, I can't even get in combat. We'll pain link our main, but we'll pain link the main boy. Then we'll focus on this killing this twat. Bitchin'. And we've got to level up for a deer. Fighter abilities. So we've got vigorous defense. The defender becomes fiercely determined to deflect all incoming blows, dramatically increasing all its defense. And then we've got the specializing. I like that actually. There we go. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Oh fuck it. These guys know we're here, so we'll just go fuck these guys up. Endurance, use your once per rest, please. Or once per encounter. Oh, it doesn't matter. I put it on anyway. Let's get this loot. Nothing
I shall be discreet.
Too much out of the ordinary. Looks like combat's going decently so far, apart from Durance is getting his head kicked in as usual.
That's not very helpful.
Yep, that did not take long at all.
Hello. Hello.
Kana, why are you shouting? Let's go up here now. Let's make sure the 3 melee guys are going first. Yeah, I'm still on the side, luckily. I say luckily, I mean I obviously did it myself, but still, it's still lucky that I'm on the side. For some reason we're sending Durance. Oh.
Poison.
That's only fine mail armor.
I'm on the trail.
We may have to get a rest soon. You know, just to make sure Durance lives. But unfortunately, John, we're actually gonna have to end this part here, given the time. And given we're at 24 minutes and a half. So unfortunately, I'll have to end this part. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next part. See you guys then.